Robin Snyder's The Comics for August 2024. Leading off with his Under the Gun column, Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. George Orwell in 1984. Revising the past. Who said, quote, "You can't change the past," unquote? He is wrong. This is the time of altering, canceling, editing, revising, tampering, and tearing down that which has gone before. There are 1,001 examples of the past being changed on a daily basis. Writers have taken a hand in this destruction. Someone may be offended by a word or phrase in this old comic, film, novel, pulp magazine, and so it must be erased, revised, corrected. Watch Adventures of Superman, Season 1. The fellow who provides the subtitles has changed Miss Lane, played by Phyllis Coates, to Ms. Lane. Joan Hickson, playing Agatha Christie's keen observer of human nature, becomes Ms. Marple in the Blu-ray edition of Miss Marple. Even Star Trek is to be rebranded and the name changed to Star Trek: The Original Series. Roald Dahl's publisher states that, quote, "words matter," unquote. He goes on to remove, quote, "crazy," unquote, and, quote, "ugly," unquote, and other words which offend him from the stories. We have previously made mention of the transformation of George Bush to George H.W. Bush. Someone has decided we are so stupid we cannot differentiate between George Bush and his son George W. Bush. So the former's name must be altered to George H.W. Bush, and the latter must be rebranded George Bush. Almost everything is being revised, altered, updated, small and large. One man will erase the Simon and Kirby credit in a Captain America. Another will rebrand the team as Kirby and Simon. And a third will explain that Jack did everything and omit any reference to Joe. Continuing, Karl Barks, Will Eisner, Snyder, and Ditko, and others have produced dozens of stories without title. Someone who knows better has come along and affixed titles to the splash pages of these stories in reprint, unbalancing the page design. Again, that select someone has followed along behind and dreamed up titles for their stories, and then carved those titles in stone in the GCD and other outlets. The Kitchen Sink reprint edition tops them all. Here, quoted in full from the introduction to annotation for Al Cap's Little Abner, the Frazetta Sundays. Quote, "Some readers may wonder why the episode titles cited in quotes at the start of each annotation entry do not appear on the actual Sunday strips reproduced. We have chosen to use the, quote, tabloid, unquote, size Sundays in this reprint series. Al Cap's hand-lettered episode titles, often with distinctive double exclamation points, appeared only on the horizontal, quote, half-page, unquote, formats some subscribing newspapers utilized. We are including his official titles here for both the sake of archival completeness and or for the added insight or humor they may provide. Where no half pages were available for reference, I took the liberty of substituting new titles, and these appear within brackets. Dennis Kitchen. Robin then says, why not respect his original intention and leave it alone? And in the case of Little Abner, why not reprint the Sundays as they were originally designed? Wouldn't it be best, especially in the era of desecration, revisionism, canceling and or replacing names and terms with updates, to leave well enough alone? Yes, a writer's words can be altered, revised, canceled. But by what right? And by whom? Richard Wright had this to say in his portion of The God That Failed. Quote, "Nobody can tell me how or what to write." Unquote. Ray Bradbury had similar thoughts as evidenced in his classic, quote, "Coda from Fahrenheit 451, unquote. Remember how he closed that brilliant feature? Quote, "And no one can help me, not even you," unquote. Thank God for men such as Wright or Bradbury. Anyone can praise or criticize Barks, Snyder and Ditko, Wright, Bradbury, and others for any reason under the sun, or leave them alone. Thank you, Robin Snyder, for that, and sorry to misappropriate so much of volume 35, number 8 of the comics. Always highly recommended. That'll do it for the weekly update this week. I hope we'll see a bunch of you again next week.